Welcome, Marie in Zone 6 with a look in the garden in mid-April. Coming out onto the back deck, things are really growing. My beautiful autumn joy sedum has really started to leaf out, getting bigger. My lamium I dug out of the backyard and put in this container seems like it's starting to grow, so I guess the roots have gotten established. Yippee! Moving this way, still plenty to do. There are some of my seedling plants, Coleus, Canna back there, Salvia, Ageratum. There's my winter sowing, Foxglove, Shastas, etc. Some tulips, and look at these cute little hostas that are coming back. I planted in this container the end of last year. Yippee! Pansies, looking good. I also put some lambium in here. At first it was floppy, but I put some more water on them and they popped up, and I believe they're adjusting. So lambium is a great option as a filler in a container. If you have it in your yard, you can just dig it out and pop it in the container. Coming down the back steps, some of my daffodils are blooming. I think these are called Salome or Salome. Not sure, but they're lovely. Not a botanist, but I know they're daffodils and they're pretty. Some more autumn joy sedum. Look how huge those allium have gotten. I love allium not only because they're beautiful, but because they're a great filler in spring. They really kind of beef up, so to speak, the garden with their leaves early in the growing season. Makes it look more lush. And look at these tulips. They'll be blooming soon. Yes. And the Annabelles I planted the end of last year are leafing out. So exciting. Heading down yonder, these have been here for years. I think they're Van Eyck, Darwin Van Eyck. Look at those blooms. Just marvelous. The little quickfire is starting to leaf out slowly but surely. Penstemon has gotten some new leaves, and those peonies are really starting to shoot. These tulips I planted the end of last year, probably December. Look at that. Beautiful. And more to come. This is my Little Lime Punch, and look at the leaves flushing out on my New Dawn Rose. Yes. So exciting. There are those new gen boxwoods I planted the end of last year, adding year-round interest and beauty. More tulips. More tulip blooms to come. And look at this Brunera. But most people call it Brunera. I used to be a language arts teacher, so it's hard for me to pronounce things wrong. But I do like to say Brunera. Live on the wild side. Here is my Gatsby Pink Oak Leaf Hydrangea. Look at that. The buds are cracking. This one blooms on old wood. So you only want to trim it if you're going to trim it right after it blooms, because soon after it's going to set buds for the next year. Yes. Look at these peonies. I nursed back to health a couple of years ago. They were so pitiful. And look how they are rewarding me. They look so beautiful. Sublime. Back in the hidden garden. My welcome sign is traditionally crooked. They are my 20 cents each garage sale finds. Yippee! Annabelle. Little quick fire. My neighbor's junk in the backyard. Hookerah. Another Gatsby pink oak leaf hydrangea. There's my limelight. Look at this anise hyssop. I have it on both sides so that it gets tall and it kind of makes it bushy and it kind of makes like an entryway when it gets big and tall back into the hidden garden. Love it. There's my bleeding heart. Over here to the left, I planted these quick fire fabs over here recently. Back there, 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Scanning this way. There's my Gatsby Star oak leaf hydrangea. I don't think they sell that one anymore, but I'm not sure. My 2 limelights are flushing out. So exciting. And these sublimes, they're getting there. Their buds have started to break. They're new for me. Sublimes, smooth hydrangeas. And these hostas I got on sale, I think really add a nice touch over here. And then back in my faux shed I built years ago are those 3 containers with the August moon hostas inside, which should get huge. Over this way, crocus roses, David Austin, Queen Elizabeth, Grandiflora. And there are my ice follies. They've been there for years. They have even more blooms now. There is my Litchfield Angel, David Austin, and my Sophie Rose, David Austin. Look at this tulip. I used to have a bunch of them over here, but these were planted, these bulbs probably about 3 or 4 years ago, so this is the only one that came up this year. But I'm grateful. My bleeding heart. And Old Faithful. That's what I call this daffodil. Comes back every year. Looking good, Old Faithful. Keep up the good work. Over on this heading north, these daffodils are pretty, but they flop. So, oh well. At least the color's vibrant. And this path leads back to my climbing hydrangea I put in. So I wanted to go up this wall, which I think will be lovely. Here's my quick fire, the oldest one in my garden, starting to leaf out. And here are my endless summers. Look at those buds. I just hope we don't get a late freeze that kills them. There's a scan. Over in this bed, I think this is a mixture of, I believe those are ice follies, and I believe this one here is a Salome or Salome daffodil. Don't quote me, not a botanist. There's the sublime I put in not that long ago. And it looks like these little tulips are going to be short, but that's fine. That little hosta I put in is looking good. Put that in maybe in the last week or so. Right in between that sublime, smooth hydrangea, and that lime light prime. Over here by the garage, the evergreens are looking good. The conical ones have been over here probably about 8 years. I've just kind of gotten bigger containers for them here and there, and they've done well. And these I just added, these Golden Globe arborvitae, of course, to fill the void in between the taller conical ones. There's my iceberg rose. There'll be hostas coming up over here, panicle phlox, autumn joy sedum, little quickfires, annabelles, my clematis. I think this clematis is called, or clematis, I think it's called Ville de Leon. And my new dawn. Look at there. When it comes to climbing roses, what you want to do is get the stems, canes, you want to get them at about 45 degrees to horizontal, and then shoots will come off those areas that are 45 degrees to horizontal where blooms will be. But if you let it just go straight up, there'll just be a bloom at the top where the dominant part of the stem would be if it's straight up. But if it's not straight up, then there really isn't a dominant part of the stem. In the east garden, which is the front garden next to these ice follies, some of the pink tulips I planted have started to bloom. So exciting. There are 3 different kinds over here. That pink, there's a mixture of like a plum kind of color and a fuchsia, and then like a white and purple up front. So they'll probably bloom at different times. I'll see. And then that purple crawling plant, I believe, is Vinca minor. Lovely. Here is my Millennium Allium. Look at all the buds on these verbenas in these containers. Look at that. I have to deadhead. I think verbena does better when you deadhead it. But that's just me. Though there may be others out there. Over here, my Incrediballs are really starting to leaf out. So exciting. There's one, and there's one at an angle behind it. And then there's also one down yonder. And my limelights have started to leaf out. So exciting. As well as my Sally Holmes in the Rose Hall of Fame. You can grow it as a climber or a shrub. I have it as a shrub in the south side of my home. Thanks for watching.